Honestly, good morning and thanks for having me here. We don't have a European market. We have a lot of national and regional markets. But what I can tell you, which is interesting for you guys, that we see in Eastern Europe that went into the crisis much before the others. We see already a very important coming back of the construction sector, the new build sector, infrastructure and renovation. So we have seen a very strong trend in Poland, in the Czech Republic, and in Hungary. Whereas, obviously, as you correctly pointed out, Germany, for example, the Benelux, Austria and France are very subdued market right now.
Yeah. Would you say then that pretty much past recessionary phases in some of that, or was it perhaps a little bit too preemptive to put that? And questions around, whether project numbers are beginning to increase now too.
Listen, the construction market, especially the new build market, doesn't only focus on interest rates, because a lot of people in your world think interest rates determine everything. Politically, it's also important to have stability. We have a lot of elections around Europe which causes instability for long-term investments, buying a house, building an apartment, etc. So, and also the war, and the Ukraine played an important role, especially for Eastern Europeans, because they were shy in investing in real estate, and now they've moved back because this situation is somehow now more, I would call it an ongoing subject for them.
Interesting what you're saying about Eastern Europe, because that is exactly what NN Group was telling us this morning, exactly the same region where they're seeing a pickup in terms of demand. I want to pivot to the United States, because the market there has been fascinating. You're calling out the impact of interest rates, but the reality is there's been an affordability issue in the United States, the mortgage rates, the overall pricing. It seems to be impacting, breaking ground on new homes over the course of this year, even though we had a slight recovery in the last set of numbers that are crossed on housing starts. What do you expect for the rest of this year? Do you see any let-up in some of the weakness?
I don't see anything right now. I think the US is so taken hostage of this election right now. There's not coming anything out of political, or from the political side. Everybody sits and wait. Also the big builders, the track builders, are waiting there to do things. And as you correctly pointed out, the interest rates in the US being at around 7% or above, even for some mortgages, is too high for people to go into the market. So it's really an affordability issue.
Do you think a 25 basis point rate reduction will make any difference to the market?
I would say it's a right sign, but it doesn't make a big difference yet. Yeah, it will sort of, everybody will say that's the right way to go. But honestly, if I look at interest rates in the US, they should be under 6% to relaunch the sort of construction sector.
Let me talk about the other side, which is the inflation side. And we're looking at CPI numbers yesterday through the United States. It does feel as though we've got some cooling off. When you look at your raw material prices and you look at your wages component, what are you still witnessing on the wages and the raw material side?
I think from the raw material side, we have seen a strong decline this year. So from an inflation perspective, that's not an issue. The wages, however, have been strongly up in certain parts of Europe, especially Eastern Europe has been here the major part where salaries have been up. But I think this will ease out this year and into next year. So negotiations with unions are already on a much I would call it a lower level or more according to the economical outlook. I think what we need to pay attention, all of us, to is the energy again. You know, energy is something which caused the whole inflationary situation that we had, especially in Europe. And I think with the Russian-Ukrainian crisis, this can come up on the agenda again very quickly and cause some turmoil. So this is something where the political arena in Europe has to pay attention.